Wars have been fought since the Crusades to claim ownership of holy relics for different empires. But who has the true claim of ownership over these relics, and where are they now? The Vatican, militaries, and secretive entities hold relics like Jesus' cross and Buddha's tooth, keeping these holy items far away from the masses. But what secrets do these relics hold, and why have powerful entities been trying to keep them from us for so long?
Number 15, the true cross, Christianity. Around 326 CE, a remarkable event unfolded that would shape Christian history and devotion for centuries to come. This was the time of Saint Helena, the mother of Roman Emperor Constantine the Great, who embarked on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Her journey was driven by a profound mission to uncover the very cross upon which Jesus Christ had been crucified. In a dramatic turn of events, Saint Helena led an excavation on the site traditionally believed to be Golgotha, the place of Jesus' crucifixion. Her efforts bore fruit when she discovered 3 crosses buried beneath the ground. To identify which was the true cross, a miraculous healing was attributed to the touch of one of these crosses. This cross was then venerated as the true cross of Jesus. To honor this monumental discovery, Constantine commissioned the construction of 2 churches on Calvary, Anastasis and Golgotha, which are part of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre complex. This discovery also led to the establishment of the Feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross, celebrated annually on May 3rd. The veneration of the true cross soon gave rise to the distribution of its fragments as relics, highly coveted by Christians across the medieval world. John Calvin, a prominent Protestant reformer, critiqued this practice, noting that if all the claimed fragments were assembled, they would fill a large ship. However, many Roman Catholic theologians countered this by asserting that the blood of Christ imbued the true cross with a form of indestructibility, allowing it to be divided endlessly without losing its sanctity. As Christianity spread, the number of relics multiplied, with pieces of the true cross being deposited in numerous cities and abbeys. Today, visitors to the Basilica Church of Santa Croce in Jerusalem in Rome can view a significant portion of the true cross, along with other relics from the Passion of Christ, including part of the inscription placed above Jesus on the cross, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Number 14, Crown of Thorns, Christianity. The Crown of Thorns is an iconic and deeply revered relic with a touching history. According to the Bible, Roman soldiers fashioned this cruel headpiece from thorny branches to mock Jesus Christ during his crucifixion. They placed it on his head, intensifying his suffering and ridiculing his claim to kingship. This simple yet powerful symbol of Christ's sacrifice has become one of Christianity's most significant relics. The journey of the Crown of Thorns from its origins in Jerusalem to France is a tale of devotion and preservation. In 1923, King Louis IX of France acquired the crown and brought it to Paris. To house this sacred artifact, he commissioned the Sainte-Chapelle, a stunning Gothic chapel designed specifically to honor the relic. For centuries, the Crown of Thorns was preserved within this revered space, which became a spiritual beacon for believers. Notre Dame Cathedral, another of Paris's grandest landmarks, became the crown's home in the 13th century. As a cherished relic, it drew countless pilgrims and visitors to the cathedral, making it a centerpiece of Christian reverence in France. The cathedral itself, an architectural marvel, was a fitting guardian for such a profound symbol of faith. Tragically, in April 2019, Notre Dame Cathedral was severely damaged by a devastating fire. Amidst the chaos and destruction, a Paris Fire Brigade member undertook a heroic mission to save the cathedral's invaluable artifacts. His bravery was instrumental in rescuing the Crown of Thorns, ensuring its preservation. Today, the relic is housed in the Louvre Museum, where it is carefully displayed and protected. Although only about 70 thorns remain from the original crown, their significance endures. The Crown of Thorns continues to be a profound symbol of sacrifice and faith, bridging centuries of devotion. Number 13. Tooth Relic of Buddha, Buddhism. The Tooth Relic of Buddha, a revered artifact steeped in legend and history, is one of Buddhism's most sacred treasures. According to Sri Lankan legends, when the Buddha passed away in 543 BC, his body was cremated on a sandalwood pyre in Kushinagar. From the ashes, his left canine tooth was retrieved by his devoted disciple, Kema. This tooth, seen as a symbol of the Buddha's divine presence, was given to King Brahmadadi of Dantapura, modern-day Dantapuram, for safekeeping. The relic quickly gained immense significance, becoming a powerful emblem of divine right and legitimacy. It was believed that possession of the tooth bestowed the rightful authority to rule over the land. This belief led to fierce conflicts. Approximately 800 years after the Buddha's death, a dramatic war erupted between Guhasiva of the Kalinga Republic and King Pandu, both vying for control of the relic. The struggle underscored the relic's immense value and the lengths to which rulers would go to possess it. The tooth relic's journey through history was marked by danger and reverence. After the conflict in Kalinga, it was entrusted to the Abhayagiri Vihara in Sri Lanka. Over the centuries, as Sri Lanka faced invasions and political upheavals, the relic's custodianship shifted. King Bayanaung of Burma even attempted to ransom the relic from Portuguese invaders by offering £50,000 each time the kingdom's capital moved. From Anuradhapura to Polonnaruwa, then to Dambadeniya, the relic was transported with great care, housed in newly constructed palaces designed to honor and protect it. Today, the tooth relic resides in Kandy, Sri Lanka, enshrined in the Temple of the Tooth. This temple is a fortress of devotion and security, featuring elaborate rituals and multiple layers of protection to safeguard the sacred relic. The tooth relic continues to be a focal point of veneration and a symbol of enduring faith and royal legitimacy in Sri Lanka. Number 12. Shroud of Turin, Christianity. The Shroud of Turin is a remarkable and ancient linen cloth that has captivated the attention of believers and skeptics alike for centuries. This relic, measuring approximately 14 feet long, has recently made headlines as it is being publicly displayed for the first time in over 5 years, drawing significant media attention. The shroud is known for its faint but striking image of a crucified man, which many believe to be the likeness of Jesus Christ. The depiction on the cloth is thought to be a reminder of Jesus' suffering, death, and resurrection, echoing the biblical account where all 4 Gospels describe Jesus being wrapped in linen and laid in the tomb after his crucifixion. According to tradition, the shroud is the very cloth that Jesus was wrapped in, and it is said that the contact with his body left a miraculous imprint on the linen. This belief elevates the shroud to the status of a holy relic, given its supposed connection to the actual blood and body of Jesus. The first known appearance of the shroud in written history dates back to 1389 in France, where it was kept in the capital of the Duchy of Savoy-Chambéry. Over the centuries, it has been moved several times, and in 1578, it was transported to Turin, Italy, where it has been housed and heavily protected ever since. For many, viewing the shroud is a profound experience, offering a tangible connection to Jesus Christ. The image's stunning imprint of Jesus' face continues to inspire awe and reverence. However, the shroud has also been the subject of considerable debate and scrutiny. Despite its revered status, its authenticity remains contested, with various scientific and historical analyses challenging its origins and the nature of the image. Number 11. The Black Stone, Islam. In the heart of Mecca's Grand Mosque, amidst the bustling throngs of pilgrims and the echoes of prayers, stands an immense 43-foot-tall granite cube known as the Kaaba, the most revered structure in Islam. This black monument is not merely an architectural marvel, it is the focal point of the Islamic faith, drawing nearly 2 billion Muslims worldwide to turn and pray towards it 5 times a day. Embedded in the eastern corner of the Kaaba is the Black Stone of Mecca, an artifact of profound significance. For Muslims, This stone is the spiritual epicenter. According to Islamic tradition, it is believed to have descended from heaven during the time of Adam and Eve, marking the location of the first temple, an act that sanctified Mecca as the holiest site. The stone's journey through history is as remarkable as its origin. It survived the Great Flood mentioned in the Quran, a story shared with Judaism, and was later rediscovered by the prophet Abraham. With his son Ishmael, Abraham is said to have established the first place of worship in Mecca, cementing its importance as the site of the initial prayers to the one God. The significance of the black stone was further underscored in 605 AD when the Prophet Muhammad himself placed it into the Kaaba's structure, an act that remains a cornerstone of its sanctity. Each year, millions of Muslims undertake the pilgrimage known as Hajj, a sacred journey to Mecca. During this pilgrimage, they perform a series of rituals including tawaf, circling the Kaaba 7 times in an act of devotion and humility. Among these rituals, the act of kissing the black stone, or even simply touching it, is seen as a deeply cherished moment reflecting Muhammad's own reverence. Guarded by Saudi Arabian security and accessible primarily during the Hajj, the black stone is a beacon of faith, embodying the essence of Islamic devotion and historical continuity. For Muslims, it is not just a stone, but a divine link to their spiritual heritage, representing a tangible connection to the divine and to the sacred history of their religion. Number 10. Spear of Longinus, Christianity. The Spear of Longinus, also known as the Holy Lance, is a legendary relic believed to have pierced the side of Jesus Christ during the crucifixion. According to the Gospel of John, the Romans, under pressure to remove and bury Jesus' body, needed to confirm his death. A Roman soldier, instructed to ensure this, pierced Jesus' side. Christian tradition names this soldier Longinus, who was either blind or nearsighted. As he pierced Jesus, blood and water flowed from the wound, landing on Longinus's eyes and miraculously restoring his sight. This event is considered a miracle, as the blood of Christ is believed to hold miraculous power. In Christian belief, the ordinary spear that touched Jesus became sacred, earning names like the Holy Lance or the Spear of Destiny. Believers hold that the spear, having come into contact with Christ's blood, possesses divine power. The legend asserts that possessing the Holy Lance rendered one invincible, sparking the desire of many leaders to obtain it, believing it guaranteed success. After Jesus' crucifixion, the 8th century French king Charlemagne reportedly possessed the Holy Lance. Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great, carried it through 47 victorious campaigns, extending his control over much of France, Germany, Slovakia, and Hungary. On Christmas Day in the year 800, Charlemagne was crowned Emperor of the West by the Pope, with many attributing his success to the Holy Lance. The story continues with Adolf Hitler, who is said to have been obsessed with the spear, believing in its legendary power. This obsession is thought to be inspired by Charlemagne's supposed use of the spear. Whether or not Hitler ever possessed the true Spear of Destiny remains a topic of speculation and myth. Today, the Spear of Destiny is displayed at the Hofburg Museum in Vienna, where tourists can view this historic object and ponder whether it truly swayed the fate of nations for centuries. Number 9. Buddha's Bone Relics, Buddhism. The Buddha's bone relics hold deep significance in Buddhism, symbolizing his enduring presence. Following his instructions, after the Buddha's body lay in a coffin for 7 days after his death, his chief disciple, Mahakashyapa, set the funeral pyre ablaze. Post-cremation, the relics were entrusted to lay disciples, but armed men from 7 regions demanded them. To prevent conflict, a monk divided the relics into 8 portions. Tradition states 10 sets of relics were enshrined, 8 from the Buddha's remains, 1 from the pyre's ashes, and 1 from the bucket used to divide the remains. Over a century later, King Ashoka is said to have redistributed the relics into 84,000 stupas across his empire. These stupas became significant markers of the Buddha's presence, linking stupa worship with his life and key sites in his career. 8 major shrines are recommended for pilgrimage. His birthplace, the site of his enlightenment, his first turning of the wheel of Dharma, his death, and 4 cities where he performed miracles. For instance, a stupa in Samkashya marks where the Buddha descended after teaching the Dharma to his mother in the heaven of the 33 gods. The stupa's importance signifies the Buddha's persistent presence despite his nirvana. 2 types of nirvana are described. Nirvana with remainder, achieved under the Bo tree when the Buddha destroyed all seeds for future rebirth, and nirvana without remainder, occurring at his death when nothing remained to be reborn. However, his relics in the ashes represent a 3rd nirvana, the final nirvana of the relics. According to belief in the distant future, the teachings will disappear, and the relics will break out of their stupas, assemble into the resplendent body of the Buddha at Bodh Gaya, and be worshipped one last time before bursting into flame and disappearing into the sky. Until then, the relics are regarded as the Buddha's living presence, infused with his qualities. Historical evidence suggests that the Buddha, in the form of his stupas, was a bestower of blessings and regarded as a legal person and property owner. The relics of the Buddha were essentially the Buddha. Number 8. Mandilion of Adessa, Christianity. The Mandilion of Adessa, also known as the Image of Adessa, is a legendary relic revered in Christian tradition. Said to bear the miraculous imprint of the face of Jesus Christ, it is considered one of the most famous acheropoieta, or icons not made by human hands. The term mandilion is derived from the Greek word for towel, or napkin, signifying its humble origins as a simple cloth. According to tradition, the Mandilion of Adessa was created when Jesus pressed a cloth to his face, leaving a perfect imprint of his features. This narrative bears a striking resemblance to the legend of the Veil of Veronica, another relic said to bear the image of Christ's face. The earliest reference to the Mandilion comes from the 4th century, described by Eusebius as a miraculous gift to the 1st century king Abgar V of Edessa. Legend has it that King Abgar, suffering from an illness, wrote to Jesus, inviting him to Edessa to heal him. Jesus, unable to make the journey, promised to send one of his disciples. After Jesus' death and resurrection, the apostle Thaddeus brought the Mandilion to Edessa, where it was venerated for centuries. The relic's presence in Edessa is chronicled until the 10th century when it was transferred to Constantinople. The Mandilion's journey did not end there. It disappeared from historical records during the 4th Crusade in the 12th century when Constantinople was sacked. The relic later reappeared in the Sainte-Chapelle in Paris during the reign of Louis IX in the 13th century, only to vanish again after the French Revolution. Despite its mysterious disappearances and reappearances, the Mandilion left a lasting impact on Christian art and devotion. Its legacy is echoed in the Ancha icon, or Anchiskati, a medieval Georgian encaustic icon believed to be the Keramedion, a holy tile imprinted with Christ's face through contact with the Mandilion. Every August, the Eastern Orthodox Church celebrates a feast for the Mandilion, marking the transfer of the not-made-by-hands icon from Edessa to Constantinople. Number 7. Swaddling Cloth of Jesus, Christianity. In the heart of Dubrovnik Cathedral in Croatia lies one of its most treasured relics, the Swaddling Cloth of Jesus. This sacred artifact, often mistranslated as the diaper of Jesus, holds profound historical and spiritual significance. It resides within the reliquary treasury, encased in an ornate silver reliquary adorned with winged figures, intricate arabesques, and elaborate decorative accents. The veneration of this relic in Dubrovnik dates back to the mid-15th century, vividly described by the esteemed humanist Philip de Diversis in his Description of the famous city of Dubrovnik from 1440. De Diversis, an accomplished artium doctor and rhetoric professor from Lucca, Italy, lived in Dubrovnik between 1434 and 1441, during which time he meticulously documented the city's reverence for its sacred relics. Dubrovnik Cathedral's swaddling cloth is regularly showcased in its treasury, allowing visitors and the faithful to witness and venerate this extraordinary relic. The presence of such a significant artifact underscores the rich heritage of Christian history preserved within Dubrovnik, offering a tangible connection to the early life of Jesus. The swaddling cloth not only symbolizes the humility and humanity of Jesus' birth, but also serves as a beacon of faith for those who journey to this historic cathedral. Number 6. Relics of St. Peter, Christianity. In 1939, an extraordinary excavation began beneath St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, unearthing a significant piece of Christian history. After 11 years of meticulous digging, archaeologists discovered what many believe to be the bones of St. Peter, the first pope. The location was significant, near ancient Greek graffiti that read, "Peter is here," a compelling clue supporting their authenticity. The revelation came during the closing Mass of the Year of Faith in 1968, a pivotal moment for the Catholic Church. The relics, initially hidden due to debates over their true identity, were finally brought to light and publicly displayed for the first time in 2013. St. Peter, crucified in 64 AD, is venerated as the Church's foundational figure, and his relics have become a symbol of enduring faith. The veneration of saints is deeply rooted in Catholic tradition, reflecting the respect and honor Catholics show to their spiritual ancestors. Father Gino from Paterson, New Jersey, captures this sentiment. "We adore God, we worship God, we revere God, we honor the saints," emphasizing the importance of such relics. Pope Francis, during a poignant service, held the relics with a nearly reverent embrace, underscoring their significance. Guarded closely by Vatican security and accessible only to a select few, these relics have captivated the faithful and intrigued even non-Catholics. Their discovery not only reinforces the historical narrative of the Church, but also continues to inspire awe and devotion. Number 5. The Holy Robe, Christianity. The Holy Robe, or Holy Tunic, is a garment steeped in both historical and religious significance. This robe, traditionally believed to have been worn by Jesus Christ before his crucifixion, was an essential part of the attire of Jews in his time. A Jewish man would typically wear 3 layers of clothing: an undergarment, a tunic, and a cape. The tunic, often made of wool and woven seamlessly from top to bottom, was the most prominent layer and was usually long, reaching the feet. The robe's journey through history is as fascinating as its religious symbolism. According to tradition, it was Saint Helena, the mother of the Roman Emperor Constantine, who first recovered the Holy Robe during one of her pilgrimages to the Holy Land in the 4th century. The robe's journey did not end in Jerusalem. For centuries, it was moved across various cities in Europe, including Koblenz, Cologne, and Augsburg, before finding its final resting place in Trier, Germany. The first documented mention of the Holy Robe in Trier came in the 9th century. Despite its significant religious importance, the garment's exact history remains somewhat elusive, with many details shrouded in mystery. Today, the Holy Robe is preserved in Trier Cathedral, where it continues to be a focal point of pilgrimage and reverence. Number 4. St. Anthony's Tongue, Christianity. St. Anthony of Padua, a revered figure in the Catholic Church, died from edema in 1231. 32 years later, in 1263, his remains were exhumed for reburial in a new basilica. To the astonishment of those present, his body had decomposed completely, except for his tongue. Remarkably, the tongue was still moist and intact, as if untouched by time. This miraculous preservation was seen as a testament to St. Anthony's legendary oratory skills. Known for his eloquent sermons, St. Anthony traveled extensively throughout Italy and France, captivating audiences with his powerful, soul-stirring words. His sermons were so impactful that he was canonized shortly after his death. The discovery of his incorrupt tongue cemented his status as a divine orator. Today, the tongue and his jawbone are enshrined in ornate gold reliquaries in the Basilica of St. Anthony of Padua. Pilgrims from around the world visit to venerate these relics, which symbolize his extraordinary gift of speech. The basilica itself is a marvel of 13th century architecture, showcasing an eclectic mix of styles crowned by Byzantine domes. Inside, visitors are treated to stunning sculptures by Donatello and a renowned 14th century fresco by Giotto. Yet, it is St. Anthony's relics that draw the most devotion. As the patron saint of lost things, many faithful come seeking his intercession to find what they have lost, whether it be physical items or spiritual guidance. Number 3. Hindu footprints, padukas. Hindu footprints, also known as paduka, are an ancient form of footwear deeply rooted in Indian tradition. These simple yet significant shoes consist of a sole with a post and knob that fits snugly between the big and second toe. Historically worn across South Asia and Southeast Asia, padukas are crafted from a variety of materials, ranging from wood and ivory to silver and gold. Paduka holds a revered place in Hindu culture and mythology. One of the most notable mentions of paduka is found in the Hindu epic, the Ramayana. According to the legend, King Dasharatha sent his son Rama, an incarnation of Vishnu, into exile for 14 years, prompted by his wife Kaikeyi, who wished to see her son Bharata crowned instead. However, Bharata, loyal to his elder brother, did not desire to rule the kingdom. In a poignant gesture, he visited Rama in exile, pleading with him to return to Ayodhya. Rama, committed to honoring his exile, refused, but offered Bharata his padukas. Bharata, in turn, placed the golden padukas on his head as a symbol of his devotion and obedience to Rama. He then placed them on the throne, ruling Kosala as Rama's regent, with the padukas serving as a proxy for Rama himself. These golden padukas were ceremonially crowned and placed in secure temples, becoming an object of veneration for Rama's followers. Beyond their mythological significance, padukas are often included in bridal dowries and are considered sacred objects of worship. Faithful believers give them as votive offerings, and they are cherished for their spiritual symbolism. The practice of gifting and venerating padukas underscores their importance in Hindu culture, representing humility, devotion, and respect. In contemporary times, padukas continue to be a symbol of cultural heritage, reflecting the timeless traditions and values of ancient India. They serve as a reminder of the stories, beliefs, and customs that have shaped Hindu society for millennia. Number 2. Buddhist manuscripts, Kamavaka. Kamavaka manuscripts hold a significant place in Theravada Buddhism, particularly in Burma, Myanmar, where they are revered as sacred texts integral to monastic rituals. Derived from Pali passages in the Tipitaka, the Buddhist canon, these manuscripts are primarily associated with ordination ceremonies, the bestowing of robes, and other monastic practices. A Kamavaka is not just a religious text, but also a symbol of spiritual merit. Traditionally commissioned by lay people, these manuscripts are often presented to monasteries during pivotal moments, such as when a son enters the Buddhist order as a novice or is ordained as a monk. This act of donation is seen as a way to gain merit for future lives, reflecting the deep cultural and spiritual importance of the ceremony. The manuscripts themselves are works of art, adorned with intricate designs and often written in gold ink on lacquered palm leaves or cloth. The elaborate decoration underscores their sacred status and the reverence with which they are treated. The most significant Kamavaka manuscripts are prepared for the Upasampada, or higher ordination, marking the transition from novice to fully ordained monk. This ritual is a profound milestone in a monk's spiritual journey, often accompanied by grand ceremonies. In addition to their religious functions, Kamavaka manuscripts are valued for their cultural and historical significance. They are typically housed in secure monastic libraries and religious sites, where they are protected as powerful and sacred objects. The detailed craftsmanship and spiritual significance of these manuscripts make them treasures of Burmese Buddhist culture, embodying the devotion and artistic heritage of the communities that create and preserve them. Number 1. Relics of St. James, Christianity. Nestled within the revered Santiago de Compostela Cathedral in Spain lie the sacred relics of St. James the Great, an apostle of Jesus. This historic site attracts countless pilgrims who embark on the Camino de Santiago, a journey imbued with spiritual significance. The relics, housed in a silver reliquary crafted by José Losada in 1886, are located in a crypt beneath the main altar, revealing the substructure of the 9th century church. Pilgrims reach the culmination of their journey at this hallowed site, where the bones of St. James, along with those of his disciples, St. Theodorus and St. Athanasius, rest. The crypt, a place of profound reverence, offers limited public access and is safeguarded by cathedral security, ensuring the sanctity of the relics. The crypt is more than a burial site. It houses an array of artifacts tied to St. James, including bone fragments, cloths, and liturgical objects he is believed to have used. The journey to the crypt is a solemn one, reflecting the enduring faith and devotion of those who travel great distances to venerate these holy remains. The relics of St. James were authenticated by Pope Leo XIII, 1884, reinstating their sacred status. Their history, however, is marked by periods of obscurity. Due to the threat of Dutch and English incursions, the relics were relocated in 1589 to a secure location. They remained hidden and nearly forgotten until their rediscovery in January 1879, an event that reignited the site's spiritual and historical importance. Today, the Santiago de Compostela Cathedral stands as a beacon of faith, drawing pilgrims from around the globe. What are your thoughts on these relics and the veneration of them? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.